Welcome to Saturday Night Cenobites. My name is Srethne, and I am your host tonight. I'm trying to figure out my microphone, so this is live, and we'll probably have some more technical difficulties in the future. But every Saturday night, I do my very best to raise funds for filmmakers and my favorite theaters um, in Florida, which are the Sunray Cinema up in Jacksonville and the Corazon Cinema and Cafe. And so you'll see the link in the description box below on how to view, buy the films with your own home screening of their films showing at the moment, as well as Sunray's having some pop-ups here and there with their drive-in. So definitely check those out. Tonight's guest is running a little bit behind, but if he makes his way through, we'll definitely welcome him inside the live stream. But if not, his information is scrolling on the bottom below there if you'd like to check out his works. But while we're waiting for him, I decided to talk about another short film that I made of mine called The Insomniacs, which was the narcoleptics. Um, oh, see here, he's messaging me at the moment. So I'll be waiting for him to log in. And so I just messaged him to let him know that I am online waiting for him to get into the lab. But if not, I'll be figuring out how to work StreamYard and incorporating the um, the video portion. But if not, I will comment below in this comment section of the link to the Insomniacs, so that way you can follow along if you have to. So I'll be playing that and providing director commentary, uh, which is there you go in the comment section in YouTube. Um, I will be having a director's commentary as I watch the movie along with you. I'll have the video on mute, but you can play it at home with the volume. But I pretty much opened up where the sugar daddy was in the tunnel. Two brand new characters because we couldn't get the other folks to jump along because they were already part of another cast. But Gabriel's in the studio, so I'll welcome him back. I'll just wait for the Insomniacs for a future episode. So, Gabriel, welcome to the studio.
Hey, thank you for having me. Sorry it took so long.
It's all good. Thank you for joining me, and we're gonna break. I was gonna do like an audio director's commentary on my short film, The Insomniacs. I was waiting for you, but thank you for joining me. And we'll talk about your background in film. What got you started?
Um, I mean, I actually started by just like having fun and making short skits. I made a skit while I was in the Navy, and it was basically just a parody of Denzel's Training Day, and that turned out to get a lot of people thought it was good, thought it was funny, and I just started making shorts from there. And my commanding officer got a wind of it, so I had to delete those videos. And it wasn't even me that he was talking about, but I didn't want to take any chances because using profanity in uniform wasn't actually the thing that I was supposed to be doing, and especially in videotaping it. So yeah, I started off with a couple of shorts films. Then I made a spy short that nobody ever saw, and I I lied. One of my family members saw it, and they said I was actually it was actually good, and I should get into film. So I actually started acting before I actually got into film. I was at the Phase 8 school, part of the Phase 8 theater company, for about 2 years, studying under Jamario Stills. He's a local Jacksonville native who is a Juilliard grad and the founder of Phase 8 Theater Company. And from there, I took some classes at Florida State College at Jacksonville for acting, drama, and I took a directing class, and I ended up directing a short scene from The Mountaintop, the play The Mountaintop by Katori Hall, one of my favorite playwrights. And I just caught the directing bug from there. It's like most people catch the acting bug. I caught the directing bug.
Sweet. At the theater, which productions were you a part of that you can remember?
I was a part of I was behind the scenes on one play that I cannot think of the name of right now, and I was in another play called. Actually, I was in 3 plays in 2018. The one that I remember the most was the Ruined. It's a play about war-torn Congo and the females, how the women are affected by the war-torn Congo. It's actually located in a bar that doubles as a brothel.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. I also was in a play called The Taste of Sunrise. I played Tuck's father, who was he was a young man who's deaf, and his father didn't really understand him, and he ended up sending him to Jacksonville School for the Deaf and Blind. And it's the same school that Ray Charles went to. No, yeah, Ray Charles went to, and that's incorporated in Jacksonville. And they actually had some of the kids from the school come see the play. And I was in another play that was by a local playwright called Tim Gilmore, and it was originally titled. Wow, I have the book over on my table. I don't have the name of the play, but it was about a mass shooting that happened in 1990 in Jacksonville.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense. You have a light in the early beginnings. That's quite a diverse lineup of acting. And what were your project? What were the projects that you were part of in college?
Those are the college projects.
Oh, that's a college. Awesome.
The two the mass shooting play and the Taste of Sunrise play.
Oh, cool.
I was at the main stage at FSCJ, and I'm currently at Los Angeles Film School.
Nice. That's a pretty cool film school they got there. I didn't know they had a campus here, but I guess they're all over the place. So
I'm actually just taking classes online because everything's closed down. The sister campus is down in Orlando. It's Full Sail.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about Full Sail. Quite expensive, but indeed. But I love the campus though. That campus is really nice for sure. Let's see here. I checked out your Vimeo. Which is scrolling on the bottom there. So feel free to follow Gabriel on Instagram and Vimeo. But what was it like working on the garden?
That was something I wrote, and I said, "Hey." One of my acting friends, Rashad Sessoms, I said, "Hey man, I got something. It's no speaking in this. I just would like for you to be a part of it." And he said yes. I also got 2 other people. Julissa, she's a local artist. She's incredible, by the way. She has no acting history, but she dabbles in every type of art she can. And also not Jeanette. Wow, I'm terrible with names, man. I know her. And I've had her in several of my works, and she's amazing. She's probably going to kick me if she sees this. But she played the woman in the blue dress, and it was just a short. Hey, I called him up. I want to film this. Can y'all be a part of this? I know this field that has flowers down in It was near, wow, it was in between Gainesville and Middleburg. It was a little small town, and it had this flower field that I wanted to use, but they had cut the flower field, so we had to go near a church which had some flowers in it, but it wasn't really a flower field, and film that. Which the story was of biblical sense, and writing it is just like something I was like, I want to do this, but I want to interpret it a different way, and it was more so experimental type of film. And with that being said, it took us 30 minutes to film that.
Wow.
And I went home after everybody had, like, we had food and we just relaxed afterwards. And then I went home and I edited the entire night and submitted it to a couple of film festivals and got into Toronto Independent Film Festival with that.
Dang, that's pretty awesome. Did you get to go to Toronto and present it and everything like that?
Long story behind that. I actually had something else that I did, and I didn't get a chance to go to that because it was either one or the other. And I mean, looking back, I don't regret it. But the next time I go to Toronto, I will be in Toronto International Film Festival, hopefully.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. And you also worked on Dreams, the trailer. Uh, what's all that about?
Okay, so long story short about that one, I filmed it in two different formats. And you only see the digital format in the trailer. The film format is still with Kodak, and I'm trying to get that taken care of because I haven't received it back yet. It actually got lost at one point, and I had to go through a whole thing with Kodak about that, and they have my film now. So it's being processed, and once I have that, I will be able to put out that short. Which Rashad Sessoms, my partner in crime, my Michael Beats, and my Ryan Coogler is he's been on me about getting that one done. He's also been on me about getting another project done, which I just got a camera for it, and we're hopefully going to be able to punch that out soon.
Man, get on it, Kodak. You also worked on The Power of Faith. What's the story behind The Power of Faith?
Okay, so that was a part of Jack's film bar, and it was a 3-part challenge where one person writes, one person directs, and one person edits. So the way it went is I don't know who wrote it at all. I found out after the fact, and it was easy to know who directed it because they could hear my voice when I say "and action." But the person that edited it, I found out because I had to do some add-on shots to complete that project at the end. But it was an incredible process to be a part of. Like, it was the first time I've shot something that wasn't written by me, and I think it was the only time I've shot something that hasn't been written by me. I believe so. And it was just fun. It was incredible to do something like that.
Most definitely. We have some viewers in the room, so if you're out there, you can chat in the chat box and we'll respond to you on the video and give you a shout out and all that good stuff. So thanks for joining us. And let's see here. We left off on The Power of Faith, and that's a pretty cool thing that they have for like the three thing that they have for the Jack's Film Bar. And man, they have a really good thing going on there. And Tim and the whole, like, that's how we met, was like at the Jack's Film Bar.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you got to forgive me. I kind of have a stranger danger type of thing going, man. If I don't know somebody, I'm like really like slow to open up to them.
Oh, for sure. No worries. Same here. I'm a Capricorn, so like when I'm in like in a large
What? I'm a
setting.
Capricorn too.
Oh, for real? That's pretty
Yes,
dope. So now I know like why we it was like a hard time like getting to open up, and then like because we were in like a large setting, but then when we're like one on one, it's so easy to open up. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
so yeah, I'm like 2 days after Christmas. So how
Oh
about you?
man, I'm the 17th of January.
Oh, cool. That's pretty good stuff, man. And we're natural born leaders too. So
Absolutely.
and we get things done. So that's pretty awesome. So You also worked on Love, and it has like a lot of views on there. Like over 50. Or what's the story behind Love?
That one's tough, man. I can't really talk about that one.
Oh, for sure.
It was something I was feeling at the time, and yeah, I don't really know how to like. It's like it's pretty much self-explanatory. The guy who was in that one, his name is Xavier Hart. He actually picked the song out for me. I asked him, "Hey, could you help me film this real quick?" And we filmed it forward. And when I actually filmed it, like in that order, it was one take. Actually, no, it's not one take. It's like one long take in there though, and we filmed that in order. But when we did that, and I looked at it and I just said, "This just doesn't feel right." And it doesn't feel like how I feel. Like in that moment, I wish I could have done things differently and taken things back. And this is personal; it's all personal stuff. But that's how I felt in the moment. So that's why the whole thing's in reverse. The entire thing. Also, I was heavily inspired by Memento by Christopher Nolan. um, and that's it just worked better going back, being shot in reverse than rather than being shot in forward. I just did that in post production and it made it better. I was actually going to give up on that project for a second.
Indeed, that's such a good movie too. Like I love like the Polaroids and stuff like that. And man, that movie, like I love those movies that mess with your head like that, and it's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yep. And like
It
in the
took me
movie,
like 10 times seeing that to actually understand it.
ah,
I
definitely.
got the story. I understand. I figured I got it, but then like what Christopher Nolan wanted to make you feel the way it was edited is he wanted to make you feel like the same thing he was feeling, where you forget things.
Mhm.
So that it made sense to me how it was like, and then I watched the video where he explained how it's in a U shape, the narrative, and it's cut between two things, and they all meet at the one point at the end, and one's going forward and one's going backwards. It was just genius.
I agree. I love that movie, and like remembered like buying it on DVD, and it was like a case files like it was like a blue thing, and it was a I love the packaging of that DVD. It's good stuff. Oh man, and let's see here. Another cool like reverse shooting was like a film was like have you seen Hellraiser?
I have not. I know about that. It's like notoriously like one of the films that you put up there with Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers and all of that, but I have not seen that one. I'm more of a Candyman type of guy.
Oh, for sure. Same guy that wrote and directed it. And but you got to see the cool where the dude's like coming out of the floor the floor.
Right.
Like he just pieces together. Like I mean, it was shot completely in reverse. It's like it's beautiful piece of work. Like
I
you
know
got to
what you
watch.
mean, like reverse filming, and then they
Mm-hmm.
play it forward, so it looks
Yep.
like it gives it an effect. They did the same thing in Bram Stoker's Dracula when
Mm.
he's walking down the stairs. Dracula's walking down the stairs, and the flames and the candles come on. That was shot in reverse. They actually blew the fire out, and he walks up the stairs backwards. So it was pretty incredible. And he
That's
shot. He decided. Capella decided to shoot that like the old school movies where most of it was shot on a soundstage and using old techniques. He wanted to do that way, and I loved it that way.
Same here. That's like the old school Dracula with Bela Lugosi, and I remember like the Americans wanted to use it and film it in the daytime, and the Mexicans filmed it at night, and it was just like even the two versions are just amazing. I think, but
I'm actually really looking forward to the new Nosferatu.
I haven't heard any news on that yet, but I'll definitely take a look for sure. And I wanted to correct myself. Like Bernard Rose, he wrote the screenplay for Candyman, but Clive did the original short story for called The Forbidden for the Books of Blood. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. But I'm
Right.
definitely looking forward for the remake and seeing how um, uh, looking forward to seeing the remake. Hopefully, it doesn't get pushed
It was
back
supposed to be
again.
out like 3, 4 months ago, and I'm really upset. Like Hollywood's been on standstill, and it's hard to find a good movie to watch now.
Indeed. There's a viewer called JF that's said, "Do you see yourself getting involved in film for me?" And I said, "Yep, there's a bunch of my short films on here. So, and definitely go to my website aqdpi.com. You can also look it up. Check out my YouTube channel there too. So, it's called Exploitation Short Films. I put Asian at the end of exploitation because it's just really bad film making on my end, but definitely worth watching because it's just bad. But I think you'll
One of
dig
my
into
guilty
it.
pleasures is The Room. I actually love that movie because
Ah,
it's so bad. It's so bad that it's incredible. Like, and I like watching bad movies to learn from uh the directors, like learn from their mistakes.
mhm.
So I've watched a lot of M. Night Shyamalan and a lot of the guy who just made Capone. I can't think of his name. But he makes beautiful movies with great subjects, but I just think the execution is terrible. Like in Fantastic Four wasn't even any better. I don't think he would have been better if the studio wouldn't have interfered. I think it would have been just as bad. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the guy at all.
Indeed. Sometimes some of those bad movies are like Ed Wood and stuff. Like he's amazing. But JF also asked a question that says, Gabriel, if there's a Christopher Nolan film that you could do or redo again, what will it be?
Oh, redo again? I would do probably The Dark Knight Rises over. I love the
Wow.
ending,
Uh,
but I would have chose a different villain. Just me
mm.
personally. I would have gone with Mr. Freeze probably, but wouldn't have had like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. I would have had I can't think of his name, the guy from The Pianist,
Oh, gosh. It's the one with
Adrian Brody.
that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had him. Um, but really, I don't think Christopher Nolan misses. I don't think he has any bad films that I can think of. Like I love Interstellar. I love what I loved all of his films. Interstellar is like one of my favorites. Then there's The Dark Knight's a classic. It's incredible. And these are just the popular films. Dunkirk, I understand it. In theaters, I when I watched it, I didn't like it because I was like, this isn't like it wasn't your typical war movie, and I didn't know the story of Dunkirk like that, even though I was in the Navy for 8 years. And when I watched it, it didn't make sense to me because I missed one key detail: a week by land, an hour by sea. No, a week by land, a day by sea, and an hour by air. I missed that key detail. And when they all interwove in together, and they met up at the end, and it was all one thing that happened at the end. Like the way it happened, like I didn't understand it at first, and it just like I don't think I was that big in film like I am now. Like I was watching it as a novice fan and stuff, and not watching it to interpret it as a filmmaker. And now that I know, and I watched it again, I can watch it over and over again. I can even watch the space version of it, the Last Jedi.
Man, that's good
It's
stuff.
Dunkirk in space, I swear.
For sure. Um, you also worked on a movie called Coven. What's the story behind Coven?
Okay, so Coven was a oneer, like 1917. 1917 is not a true oneer, but it looks like a oneer. And um, I had some spots in there I could have put in a hidden cut, but I wanted to follow the rules. What do I think of Tenet and will be, and do you think it will hit the box office? Um, right now it's shelved because he wants it to go into theaters. He wants it to be there. Today I watched a shameless plug. I watched the. I'll get back to your question. I'm sorry. I watched a movie called The Tax Collector by Dave David. Wow, I am terrible with names tonight. He's the same guy who wrote Training Day. David Ayer, and it has Shia LaBeouf in it, and it was an incredible movie. Incredible. Like I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't something that's going to be nominated for Best Picture, but it was something new, and I can enjoy it because I love watching new movies and watching stuff I haven't seen before. So with that being said, Christopher Nolan shot that film in IMAX, and there's something just different about seeing a film in theaters in IMAX, Dolby Digital, XD, whichever version, whatever new thing they come up with to watch movies these days, is just something different about watching a movie in the theater, and the sound is you're cheating yourself if you watch it at home and you don't have a good sound system and a huge TV. You're just cheating yourself. Um, it's just something about it. It's magical. Like it's movie magic, literally. I went and watched Oblivion. It's one of the best sounding movies I've ever saw. Oblivion with Tom Cruise, and I felt like I was on that planet with him because the sound was so incredible. And something about IMAX just makes the sound that much better. It makes the experience that much better. It's like watching the movie about the kaiju's, Pacific Rim, in at home on your 60-inch rather than watching it on the big silver screen. It just doesn't have the same effect. So, I mean, I understand it's shelved, but if people don't wear masks, we're probably never going to see theaters again. Um, and I'm not going to get on no political stump or anything like that, but um, just act right, and we'll be able to go see it in theaters.
Indeed, or do what they do now with Sunray and do pop-up drive-ins, and that's pretty
Yeah,
awesome for them. So
I love the fact that drive-ins are coming back. I actually was stationed in Whidbey Island, Washington, and they had a drive-in theater 10 minutes from base on Whidbey Island. It's like it showed double features every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And the last thing I went to go see there was I think it was a double feature, and it was like Gnomes or something like that. Nomeo and Juliet, and um, another movie, the one with Johnny Depp where he's a gecko.
gosh,
It's like a,
I know which one you're talking about. It's starts with an R.
yeah, this was Ringo. Ringo.
Yeah,
It was something. This was like 2009, 2010 when I saw these. It was the drive-through, and like you know what, I didn't want to drive 45 minutes to AMC because Whidbey Island's like far from everything, and you got to drive up and down around the island, and it's just too much. So we just went to the drive-in, and yeah, my car died because you got to have your car on to hear
the
the
audio.
movie,
Yeah,
but it's worth it. It's so worth it. I can go on and on. Back to the subject about Coven. Coven's a one-shot film. Uh, that was the young actress in it is one of my favorite actresses here in Jacksonville. She is incredible and always ready to work. Angela Manos. I cannot pronounce last names good. I'm so sorry if I've messed that up. And her mother was in it. Her sister was in it. That was their house. They read my script. They was cool with doing it, and I was in a horror mood at that time. And I got a couple of my homegirls that were actually actresses too. One that's actually going to Columbia College in Chicago to get her BA in acting. She just got accepted. Congratulations, Stephanie. Shout out to her. Um, and a couple of an actress slash model, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna say her name right. I'm gonna say everybody's name right. Let me just go to my it's on my IG. Uh Jenna and hold on, Jenna and Eli. Yeah, Jenna and Eli were also involved. Stephanie, her mom, was involved, and it was incredible. We had Datavius Kneeback, uh, Knee Black. I'm sorry. He was my director of photography for that, and he is amazing with the sticks. Incredible cameraman. Beautiful eye, easy to work with. His skills, like as far as like knowing what to do with the camera to get what I like the vision, put my vision down, was incredible. Like and I'd love to work with that guy endlessly, like if I can. I actually met a cinematographer in my class the other day, and she was actually incredible to talk to and learn from. And she did a cinematography for I believe it's a movie called Palm Springs with Andy Sandberg, and
Wow.
I plan on getting him in touch with her because I now have her on IG, so he can get a gets mentorship from her as far as learning the business because her mentor was Roger uh, he did 1917 and Skyfall.
Dang.
Yeah, I am terrible with names.
It's pretty cool to get mentors like that, that's been in the business and teach you
Absolutely.
the ropes,
Yeah,
indeed.
Roger De-
Man.
Roger Deakins. Wow. I watched a movie called Seaburg the other day, and it was about the actress who starred in the famous um, French New Wave film called Breathless. In America, it's called Breathless, but she was starred in that. And when she got back to Hollywood, she starred in a couple more films, westerns mostly. But she got involved with the Black Panthers and the FBI. She became a target of the FBI because of that, and
Dang.
they illegally tapped her phone and harassed her, and she ended up dying at the young age of 40. Um, Nobody knows the cause. They found her in the car. So
Wow.
yeah, that movie was really heavy. Great movie. Had uh, what's his name? Anthony Mackie, and I cannot think of the girl's name from I know her from Twilight.
Is she like the main character?
She's the main female character in Twilight. She
Hmm.
was the woman that was the interest of Edward and them. Wow, I cannot. I'm looking it up right now.
Cool.
Kristen Stewart. Yeah, she has no. She had like. I actually got more respect for her after I saw this film.
Wow. I definitely have to check that out because I've yet to see it. So, and with the plot, I'm like, man, that's intense. I love movies like that. It's just like,
Yeah,
it's like definitely intense stuff. Um,
definitely.
and that's what I love about the Jacksonville movie like collective, like the Jack's Film Bar. Like everyone's so talented, and when I saw everyone's movies that one night, at Sunray, I was like,
Hmm.
man, these shorts are just absolutely incredible. They're like Hollywood quality, and you can just tell by the grain they use and like the filters and the post production. It's just they're on point with everything. It's just like, wow, this is like
Now,
indeed.
what's Blackpink 2020? What's that?
I have no idea what that is. They're probably running for office in November. Who
Okay,
knows?
August. Can you if you want to expound on that, I'm more than willing to answer any questions.
Yep. Sometimes spam shows up too, so I'm just like, oh, that's nice.
I
um,
understand.
there's there's a one with everyone's wearing a face mask called Untitled, and it's like perfect for the times like these. Like, what's the story behind the Untitled flick that has like 119 views on your Vimeo?
Okay, so Untitled. I just wanted to shoot something. That's mid social distancing, and I wrote that. I got the actors together. We all met on that rooftop right across from the Carling. We used to be the Carling Hotel. It's now the Carling Building, which is a apartment building downtown. And the story was the woman in this on the roof was at the point where she was ready to end it all, and she had lost her daughter to a mysterious illness, which I'm not gonna put that out there tonight. We all know what illness I'm talking about. And she lost her daughter to that, and she wanted to end it all, but a strange entity ends up showing up, and she all of a sudden just has a will. Her will to live just comes back. Like, it's really a really simple slasher type of film, but I wanted to just do something simple with it and um, experiment with motion, space, uh, contrast, and the red filter that I put on there. I just wanted to do different things with that.
Indeed, there's a. I love the thumbnail that you use. Like, it's just strong and powerful, and
Thank you, thank you. What are you guys' top shows and films last year and this year? Okay, so my top show last year was Atlanta, Robbing Season. This is my top show. Top film last year, 2019, was probably 1917. Beautiful.
indeed. I think mine for his top show. I don't usually watch TV, but if something captures me, I pick Snowfall. That's
Ooh,
on FX. That's
that's
so good.
incredible.
Yeah, the things they get away with.
That one scene that he had where he's like, every time, every time you fight with him, we lose. Compton is his territory. And then he's like, I built this brick by brick. Oh my gosh. I want to work with him. I want to work. I was I'm not huge on Brits portraying American roles because I don't feel like sometimes they can relate to the same struggles that Americans have had, or black people in America have had. But at the same time, they've had their own struggles as well. So, and their skills are just incredible. Their skills are just so incredible as far as acting goes. They don't have to go with the British actors are not, they don't shun it, but they don't really accept what's that called, method acting, but they're just as good. Is his performance and the way he actually picks up on the accent, you wouldn't know he's British. And yeah, like I said, what's his name, not Idris, it's Idris. His name's Idris, but I don't know his last name. He no, Daniel Idris, I believe that is his last name. Um, Working with him would be a dream come true. He's like one of my favorite actors in Hollywood right now, and just Snowfall alone is the reason I love his acting.
Most definitely. The film that I liked this year that I saw recently was called Empedagore, which is on Shutter, and it's like all subtitles. But man, it's really good. Like, it's a good watch. You can get like a free trial if you want to, but definitely check that out. But it takes place in Asia, and holy moly, the way the special effects is pretty good. But I watched one recently on YouTube that's free called Shade with
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone and Jamie Foxx and Be Real from Cypress Hill.
it's called Shade.
Yeah, it's free to watch too. And I'm like, I just watched it because I love poker movies
Right.
and like gambling movies, like Rounders and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and stuff like that. And I just like, wow, this is a good cast. But they bleeped out all the curse words on it. But man, all the double crossings in that movie and like the gunfight scene is just like totally worth watching.
One
So
movie that I watched this year that I would say was probably my favorite, but at the time I've watched it the first time, um I didn't really understand it. And I didn't really like some of the imagery or what I thought was like tropes. And it's called All Day and a Night. It's about it's basically about a generational curse. The movie's about family, and it's a black man who loses his father to the system. Um, his father is actually was on drugs, and he ends up killing his father's drug dealer, but nobody knows why.
whoa.
Nobody knows why, and then he like it starts off he's automatically going to jail, but then it shows the reason why he went to jail, and it's the same writer from Black Panther wrote and directed that movie. Not it's not Ryan Coogler, the writer of Black Panther. He's a co-writer of Black Panther. I mean, and it took me a couple of watches to actually really digest and understand that movie. But at first, I wasn't a fan of it. And what All Day and a Night? I'm looking it up right now. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Um, yeah, one of my favorite actors, Jeffrey Wright, is in it, along with Ashton Sanders as the starring role. Um, I don't know if anybody's seen Ashton Sanders in anything else, but he was in Moonlight. He was the teenage version of the main character, the protagonist in Moonlight, and he's an incredible actor. Um, yeah, that's one of and another one, my favorite show from this year. Um, that's tough. I've watched a lot of shows this year. I'll have to get back on that one.
Indeed. Remember you mentioned Atlanta, was it? But I think they were talking about your best film from was the one that you didn't mention from last year. I I might have missed that.
1917.
1917.
1917.
Weird.
Roger Deakins. The fact that it was shot in one take, even though it was like almost 100 cuts in it, and you don't notice the cuts because they're so smooth.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's just some of the stuff in there, like for example, I'm spoiler warning. There's a scene where one of the guys is bleeding out and he turns pale, but you don't know how they made him pale. And because it's no cut, and I was just wondering how did they do that. It was just like it felt so real, and I love a good war movie.
Dang. I definitely have to check out 1917 now. And I usually don't watch war movies because they're so intense for me. But I watch like The Killing Fields because I'm Cambodian and I have to like get in touch with my roots. But man, that was a pretty intense film too. Um, and I watched First They Killed My Father, and that's another. It's on Netflix, like another Cambodian flick. But man, definitely check that out too. So
I heard that one. I think I got that one saved in my to watch. I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, I think Angelina Jolie was like part of it too. So definitely give that a look. See. Let's see here. I might be pronouncing this wrong, but what's the story behind PreMeditata? Or
PreMeditata. Okay, that was a project for film school actually, and I wanted to do something else, and I had it written out, ready to go, but nobody was available, or the person that I had backed out and he flaked on me. So I'm sitting here and I don't have a camera. I don't have anything. I'm like, dang, I'm not going to have anything done for this project. And I turn around and good friend of mine, Omaida Valdez, she stepped up and did an amazing job. That is all improv.
wow,
That is all improv. She made up all the dialogue. I gave her the scenario. They have a mother that's dying of cancer, needs a transplant. They don't have the money for the transplant, nor do they have the money to keep her going, to pay the hospital bills. So they decide to rob a bank, and she's the one sister is convincing the other sister to go through with the bank robbery, and
Dang.
that's the back. She made it all up, but the actual focus of the project was to use camera editing techniques. So I made it look like they were twins, but it was actually one girl, but I made it look like they were twins. So there's a scene, a wide shot, um, of one girl standing up by the sink, the other girl sitting down on the counter, and she gets up and walks off. But that's I just didn't move the camera, and I just took two different shots and
Dang.
spliced them together, and voila.
That's pretty cool stuff. Uh, I gotta definitely look at that again from from like when you explain that to me. I'm like, wow, I gotta definitely take a look at that. That's from a different which reminds me, like JF was like, any other films you guys didn't like after the first watch, but liked after a second watch. But I have to admit that I gotta look at yours again. I didn't from your standpoint, from what you explained. So I'm not saying that I didn't like it, or but I'll watch it again just to see all that the splicing and all that good stuff. So for
Got
sure.
it. Got it. Um, yeah, that one I didn't. I did all the camera work on my own, and I'm not really a camera guy, so I could have done more. Like my teacher's um professor's input was to get more creative with the camera, which I could have looking back, and I kind of kick myself for not going the extra mile. But never again. I learned my lesson. One film that I watched it's hard for me to watch a film the first time and say, oh, maybe I was wrong about it and like it the second time. Beside the only film I've done that with recently was Dunkirk. I've watched I've watched the last Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, several times, and I still don't like it. I watched I, I know I know for a fact I'll never like uh Fantastic Four, the one that was shot recently, the latest Fantastic Four. I know I'll never like that one, and I'm going to say that guy's name because he deserves to be said because his films are awful. And don't judge me, no, because I don't like talking bad about people, but Josh Trank, who keeps giving this guy money to make films. I mean, I understand Capone's perspective. It's like we've never seen him before at the end of his life, where he's his brain is basically being eaten away at by the syphilis virus.
Oh man.
Something that could easily be cured back, like now, it just went too far with him, and that's what ended up causing his dementia and basically ultimately his death. Is something that can easily be cured, but seeing him at the end of his life, they try to squeeze a little narrative in there where he may not be crazy, and he may be hid some money somewhere, but nobody never found it. And then there's these people in there that are real but not real, and the director doesn't establish that who's real and who's not. So you got to kind of guess like he does, and it's a slow burn. And like, this is not the 1970s. We can't do slow burns like that anymore. People we think too fast, and information comes at us too fast for us to have a movie that you sit there and you have to wait for something to happen and poke it with a stick. Like an example of a slow burn is Rosemary's Baby.
Mm.
It's a great film, but it's like the 70s. Those movies, it takes a little bit longer to get to the action or get to the point or get to what you like. It's just a little. They're just how they are. I cannot think of, like I said, I cannot think of any film that I've watched a second time and said, "Oh, no, I like this." It's kind of like putting your hand on a stove and saying, "Oh, I didn't like that," and then doing it again and saying, "Oh, hey, this actually doesn't feel so bad." No, it's not going to happen.
I feel the same way. Like, if I don't like it the first time, I'm not watching it again. Like, why should I waste another hour and a half of my time?
That's
And
time I can't get back.
yeah, exactly. And so that's why, like, I return to like cult classics that I can depend on, like Tommy Boy and like Dumb and Dumber. I'll watch those like on repeat easily. But if I don't like a movie, like the first time around, I am not gonna watch it again. Like, I'm just gonna throw that in the trash can where it belongs. So, and light it on fire from the stove, I guess. And then you also worked on Just a Touch. What's the story behind Just a Touch?
Okay, so Just a Touch was a homage to everything I love about Quentin Tarantino and Spike Lee. It was a homage. Oh, and it has a little bit of Ryan Coogler in there. I said it pays homage to about 8 films. Um, she's wearing yellow pants with a black stripe down the side, like Kill Bill and Game of Death, Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
The dance that they do is a mixture of the back and forth dance that they did in Pulp Fiction. That was the point. It was supposed to be a feel good story that turns into a little bit of a bummer. Um, if you watch Locks by Ryan Coogler, it's one of his short films that he did while he was at University of Southern California. Um, it's about uh, his little sister having a man's little sister who has cancer, and she's bald because of it. He has locks, and he goes and cuts them all the way off, which is like something like you don't really do. Like if like everybody in Oakland at the time he made that had dreadlocks. Um, I don't call them dreadlocks. I just call them locks because it's dreadful. It's derogatory. So he had locks, and everybody had those, and he ended up sacrificing them for the love of his little sister, and that ended up, I believe, winning a Student Academy Award or Best Short Film at Tribeca or something like that. It did very well, and it actually got Ryan Coogler's name really far out there, um, to the point that he got noticed by Forrest Whitaker, who helped him make um, what's the name of that story? Fruitvale Station, and he had been talking to Rocky Balboa like 5, 10, 6 years before he made Creed about that story. And I'm actually glad he did it because I thought like, that would be awesome if they continue on the story that way. And they actually did that. Now I'm looking forward to his next film that he's producing, Judas and the Black Messiah. And I'm getting off subject. Back to Just a Touch. So basically, in the film, uh, the girl walks. She's walking, looking at a pamphlet. Nobody knows what's on the pamphlet, and she decides to go into the store and just like live in the moment. So, ask the guy who she notices checking her out, "Come dance with me." Then when the record starts to skip, that's like kind of like a snap back to reality, and she realizes, hey, she can't. This moment is pretty much something that's not guaranteed or won't last, and she leaves, leaving behind the pamphlet she was reading in the beginning, which is a pamphlet for cancer. And my mother has survived as a cancer survivor, and I really think that a lot of people really could relate to stuff like that because when you put stuff, that's part of what like drove me to like put that in the film, because hey, it just when it's something that's personal, it makes the art better to me. And I just wanted to like have fun with it, pay homage to some of my other favorite filmmakers, even though Quentin Tarantino doesn't believe in paying homage, he believes in stealing. He says, like Picasso, to loosely quote Picasso and Quentin, he said, "Great, good artists borrow, great artists steal."
Yeah. That happens a lot.
Spike Lee had a film called He Got Game, and there's some Michael Jordan Air Jordan 13s called the He Got Games that the Jaquan Tyree is wearing in the film. That wasn't actually planned, but it worked out perfectly because I wanted to like have as many like nods to other filmmakers as I could. And
Indeed.
yeah,
Man,
I really enjoyed that one.
most definitely. My favorite Spike Lee film that he worked on was Inside Man.
Oh man,
That
Ernest
twist at the end. Whoa.
Ernest Dickerson he's an incredible cinematographer, and like him and Spike together is just dynamite. Like that movie, Ernest Dickerson, his cinematographer, also directed the film Juice. If you didn't know that,
Ah,
yeah. So
good
like
stuff.
them doing that was incredible, man. It's just I love it. Hold on, I'm sorry,
Indeed. I also love the 25th Hour. That's another good one.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you gotta check it out.
I,
Edward Norton
I
and
watched a
Philip
lot.
Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Spike, but there's like that one and the Sweet Blood of Jesus. I just watched Get on the Bus. Um, I've missed a few. It took me a while to watch Red Hook Summer. I hadn't got a chance to see that one. But I watched it partly because Mookie's in it. Mookie from Do the Right Thing.
Indeed.
Prizes
Man,
as well. And yeah, Crooklyn. Yeah, Do the Right Thing is my favorite. Malcolm X is my second favorite. It's probably a tie almost.
dang. He definitely puts in the work for sure. And I know that dread with dreadlocks was like it's a derogatory thing, but Clive had a movie called Dread. It's also from a short story from Books of Blood.
Mhm.
If you haven't seen Dread, the movie, definitely check it out because it's about like three college kids, and they play on each the fears of each one. And man, that's the short story is awesome, but like the movie's good too. But if you ever get the chance, watch Dread. Same vein as Clive Barker, like Candyman, Hellraiser, like
Right.
all that. So give that movie a chance. That's like
I'm
it's underrated. Definitely check that out for sure.
JF asked, is that Joaquin Foster? I know that's Joaquin Foster.
It is, yeah. I asked him to join us on the thing.
Shoot. Speaking of Spike Lee, The Five Bloods was an incredible film. I enjoyed it because it showed a side that you don't see, like that often gets black veterans don't really get recognition like every other veteran does. And it was the subtle details in the film about the opioids that they were taking. They were older, and like you get back pains, and like I get them now, and I'm knee pains and stuff because I was in for 8 years, and it really wears on your body. But it can become addictive. Like the guy was shaking them like they were some Skittles or like some Mentos, not Mentos, Tic Tacs. He was shaking them like they were some Tic Tacs, and like that part in there, having that part in there. The story of the father and the son in there. I can relate to that so much. I actually sent Spike a message saying thanks for like really thank you for touching on the opioid part. And as a veteran, I really understand that. And he replied, and that was like an a euphoric moment. Like I didn't like expect to hear anything from this guy because like he's like super busy, but getting like just that one response from him like made my year. Honestly, it's like probably one of the best things that happened this year. But yeah, that movie it needed to be done. It needed to happen because we're not just cannon flutter. We're not just disposable bullet sponges that um, we fought for this country as well, but we couldn't enjoy the same rights that the people that same people of other demographics that fought for this country too. And then I, I'm not even going to get on the war, man. I'm not even going to start on that. I can go down a rabbit hole, but that's for another time. But my father fought in Vietnam, and my girl's grandfather fought in Vietnam, and it's just something that like it just it's they try to sweep it under the rug like they try to sweep. Never mind. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
Indeed. But thank you so much for serving and your lady's father and your father as well, and keeping our freedom alive and well. Thank you so much for that. And let's see. 1 hour went by pretty fast. I didn't think the interview would last that long. So, do you have any final shout outs that you have for the audience watching?
I'm looking for extras. I actually need somebody for the 25th, Joe, if you're still there. And not 25th, 22nd of this month. I have a couple of projects coming up. Shout out to everybody I work with. Shout out to the whole team. Shout out to my classmates. Shout out to everybody I have worked with, everybody I will work with, and thank God, thank my girl, thank thank you for having me, and yeah, y'all can play the music now.
I wish we had bumper music. I'm just like still new to this whole thing, so I'm just like,
I'm just messing with you, man. Like I'm talking about like the when you're at an award show or you start giving your speech and it goes on too long.
oh yeah, like that the wrap it up box from Dave Chappelle.
That.
Good stuff for sure. But man, it's a huge honor to like sit down and finally chat with you and your film career. And I'm so proud of you for like all the works you've done. And now I gotta go back and like watch them all again with all the commentary that I learned from you today. And thank you so much. And I'm proud of your works. You're on your way. And I hope you get to work with all your heroes and all that good stuff. And keep going. And
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, absolutely. And I'll send you the link as soon as I publish it on my website and everything like that. And it's already on YouTube now. So thank you so much. And I hope to see you in Jacksonville when I go back up there again. And I'll see you soon. And thank you so much for tuning in to Saturday Night Cenobites. I've been Sreth Nay. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter with a handle right by my name. And also follow Gabriel on his Instagram and his Vimeo. And if you'd like to donate to his film career, reach out to him and he'll probably give you his Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal information. You can just drop money in there and all that good stuff. But thank you so much. And I wish you all the best of luck in the future with all your film career projects. And so for
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Gabriel. And I'll see you next time on Saturday Night